Hey, what is up you guys? Welcome to another day with Spencer here on Team Transtastic, and this week we are discussing camp. And I thought that I was going to show you everything that I'm taking to camp this year. If you didn't know, I am a camp counselor at Camp Aranu'tiq, which is a trans and gender nonconforming camp for the ages of 5 and 18. And so I'm going to show you everything that I'm packing for camp, and then break down the things that I think are essential as trans kids when we go to camp, etc. So without further ado, this is everything that I'm taking to camp this year, minus my shoes. And yeah, I'll break it down. Alright, so you guys saw everything that I'm bringing to camp, and I suck. I forgot that I had to film this part of the video, so I packed all my stuff away, because I am ridiculous. So, I have some things that I'm going to physically show you and other things I'm just going to talk about, but my apologies. And I want to stress that I'm going to talk about going to a gendered camp being stealth. Though I am a camp counselor at Camp Aranu'tiq, and I am openly trans there, for it is an exclusively transgender and gender nonconforming camp. But I'm also a camp counselor at a place called Camp Ramah, which is a Jewish camp in Georgia. So it's kind of, they're very, very different experiences, and there's very different things that I take into consideration. And though some people I think have the option of going to like an LGBT camp, I don't think, at least in my experience, not a lot of like care into how things are taken into consideration, just because everyone's, at least at my camp, everyone's trans. So it's kind of like everyone's in the same boat that you are. You know, maybe they want to go about their transition differently, but everyone was born this way, especially if you're in this cabin and they're doing these things. So everything is kind of, you know, the same. So the first thing, and probably the biggest thing, at least for me, going to a gendered camp and being perceived as stealth, and I'm using stealth for me as I'm being perceived as a cisgender male, is a packer. This is mine. This is dirty. I am sorry. I'm going to clean it before I leave today. But this is a Freetime Rogue. It is an STP as well. And I don't typically pack with this. I typically pack with the Freetime Traditional. But I'm packing with this just because it's smaller. And I can do more activities, etc. Now, if I was going to Camp Ramah, this will be the only packer that I bring. I am also bringing the Mr. Limpy just because I'm a lifeguard at Camp Aranu'tiq, which I'm going to in a couple of hours. So the Freetime Rogue will be what I'm wearing throughout the day. The Mr. Limpy is what I'll be wearing when I'm in my swim trunks, because I am a lifeguard, so I don't want to ruin this. It's way too much money to ruin. But definitely a packer, preferably a STP, just because the stalls at camp, at least at Camp Ramah, they're individual stalls and urinals. And there were 2 doors there that the doors were broken. So, you know, it's kind of, you know, it get rid of a lot of my anxiety when I have a STP, because I don't have to worry about it if I have to wait for the stall that isn't broken, etc. And that's just like camp in general. You don't know how the stalls are going to be. You don't know how the, you know, shower situation is going to be. So I recommend STP and a packer. Bring the one you don't like the most, because if you ruin it in the pool or something, you know, you're not mad about it, but recommend that. The next thing I would recommend is tape and a binder. We all have our feelings about tape. We all know the pros and cons about it. If not, I strongly encourage you to check out Chase Ross's video and my video on binding with tape 2 weeks ago, I think, on this channel. But there's pros and cons to tape. I've, you know, weighed them, and I still bind with tape. And yes, so tape, if you are comfortable with tape, if you know the risk and you want to do it, I recommend tape. I recommend bringing an entire roll. For me, tape typically lasts on my body for about 3 days, but since I'm at camp, I've noticed last year that it basically wears off every day, just because like the high level activity, going in and out of the water, things like that. So tape is a good one. If you cut your tape, I would say pre-cut them, just because I don't know, like as a camp counselor, I have like certain privileges that campers don't. Like my campers can't have scissors in their cabin, you know, but like I can obviously have scissors, so it's kind of cut your own tape if you won't have like the ability to do it at camp. So I recommend tape, and then also a binder. This is my favorite binder. This is the one I strongly recommend. It is Flaunt Streetwear Bearskin top. It's in the umber color. It's a size medium, if you guys care. The reason why I love this binder is because the material on the inside is very breathable, and it's very like water wicking and water resistant, which makes it ideal for swimming, as well as just like dealing with hot summer days. So I recommend a binder. I am bringing roughly three. Yes, I'm bringing three. One strictly for water. The other is if like I feel lazy and don't want to put on tape, or I don't have time to cut my tape, etc. And then the third is just kind of a backup. So I recommend that. I also love the Flaunt Streetwear binders because like they're very thin straps. So when I'm at Camp Vermont and I'm in like a tank top, it doesn't show. So that's one of the things that I love about it. So bring a binder if you bind and if you're comfortable with it. And, you know, consider, you know, other alternative binding methods if that's your thing. The final thing that I would recommend bringing, which I didn't really come to mind when I was going to camp the first year, or even like in my other camps, but, you know, bringing a little piece of home or a little piece of yourself to camp. My camp, Camp Aranu'tiq, a lot of these kids have a very strong support system. Obviously, their parents are sending them away to a transgender camp, so you can imagine the kind of support system they have at home. Though we do have some kids that aren't as fortunate, and one of the things that really like made them feel, you know, calm and at ease in this group of new kids with new people away from, you know, their, you know, routine, is that they brought a little bit of themselves. So for me, I love Naruto, and I have a Naruto beach towel, and that just speaks to who I am as a person. I'm also bringing my ukulele, which just speaks to who I am as a person. A lot of kids, you know, do a lot of things that are very, like, trans-related. I'm bringing my, you know, FTM magazine trans necklace, and then my water bottle is obviously decked out in all the coolest trans stuff. My chopsticks in there, sorry about it. Like, my favorite 100% binary free, and transcend, and a gentle reminder to, oh, I can't see this. Don't be bitter, be better. So, you know, bring something that, like, is a piece of you, and it's, like, your personality, and something that you want the campers to, you know about you and learn about you, and an easy thing for people to say, like, find similarities. So, my Naruto towel, and my water bottle, and some pictures or things that I'm bringing to my cabin. You know, think of things that you want to bring to yours. If you want to write home, you know, bring stationery and stamps, things like that. I never write home. I don't really ever do that. But if you're somebody that needs to get in contact with somebody, you know, totally do that. My camp allows for emailing to happen, so see if your camp does that. Yeah, so that's pretty much all I have for you today. By the time you guys watch this, I'll be flying to Boston and hanging out with Reed and Sky for a little bit. And then off, I'll be at Camp Aranu'tiq. So you guys will not see me for a couple of weeks. I hope you guys are having a great week and gearing up for an even better weekend. I hope you guys stay safe, stay humble, stay sane. Hopefully I come back from camp without a torn ACL this time, and I'm all in one piece, but I won't see you for another 2 weeks. So it is Thursday, it is Spencer. Until next time.